Hello everyone and welcome back to Rayquatics, Florida edition. Today we have a wonderful surprise for you guys. We're going to be going on some aquatic adventures, heading off outside of the city to the wonderful freshwater springs of Florida. We're going to be doing some collecting, doing some adventuring. We're going to be exploring the natural area, so stay tuned. We are now leaving the city and the beach and headed towards the back country, the real Florida, to explore some of the state's freshwater wonders. As we head off the highway and onto the dirt road, you can see the landscape change from flat, coastal plains to a surprising hilly landscape, which for Florida is quite rare. The area by the beach consists of flat, sandy sediments, but as we head closer to the fall line, the elevation increases and we begin to see more of a hard limestone bedrock containing the massive Florida aquifer. As I was busy admiring the topography, we soon arrive at Williford Springs State Park. We start the hike in, and of course, nature tries to plot against us. Rain, a classic Florida shower. We press on with the hope that the storm passes quickly, a staple trait of Florida weather.
So it's going down out here.
It's really going down. But we're here at the Florida Springs during a rainstorm, and we're gonna see what kind of interesting fish and creatures we can catch. Hopefully we don't get rained out, but we're gonna be in the water, so it doesn't matter. Stick around to see all the wonderful creatures we're going to find.
Currently raining pretty good, but that ain't gonna stop us. Let's see what we can find.
As we submerge, we can tell that the rain has affected the water clarity. But the spring water coming up from the ground is already crystal clear, so the rain making a mess didn't stop us from having fun.
Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're starting our swim from the mouth of the Spring Run, the stream that connects the main spring head to the creek. Because of the wonderfully crystal clear water, it's almost like I'm swimming in an aquarium. And like any aquarium, there's fish, aquatic plants, and of course a heavy helping of nuisance algae, like this disgusting cyanobacteria. A sign that industrial runoff has caused excess waste products in the water. Jack says hi to the camera as we continue our swim up towards the head of the spring. As we're making our way towards the spring head, we can see many fallen logs creating habitat for these small fish, such as this group of red ear sunfish. This aquatic plant is called hornwort, a commonly used aquarium plant known for its ability to fastly absorb chemicals as well as harmful pollutants in the water, explaining how it's able to eke out a living here amongst the nuisance algae. Now it may look like there's a natural path leading us towards the head of the spring, but unfortunately this is not natural at all. It's a consequence of the constant pounding of feet of humans walking towards the head of the spring. In a natural situation, this entire spring would be covered in lush aquatic plant growth.
Here he is. There's Rayquatics.
As Jack waits for me to rejoin him, we stop and take a look at some of the aquatic landscape below. We can see some larger sunfish swimming around some of this underwater debris, as well as a largemouth bass hanging out under one of the fallen logs. We go up closer to inspect him, and we spook him and he swims away. But he's definitely a decent size, nothing too huge, but it's always fun to see some native species in this crystal clear water. Some of these sunfish, like that long-eared sunfish, have some absolutely beautiful coloration as well. I join back up with Jack, and together we head off in search for the head of the spring. We keep admiring the underwater hardscape as fallen logs shape the main channel of the spring run. We can see these logs covered in a slippery hair algae, another algae we're all too familiar with as aquarists, but at least here it's helping absorb some of the excess nutrients caused by the heavy runoff of industrial activity. Passing by another school of sunfish, hiding under this massive clump of hornwort, we continue our trek upstream. Then we pass this absolutely massive forest of hornwort. The way that it flows in the gentle current is absolutely mesmerizing. Comparably, the cyanobacteria-soaked sand bed looks like a desert next to those massive clumps of hornwort. Now we come up to our first real obstruction, a submerged log. Jack heads under first, and then turns around so he can get a shot of me swimming through the log. If you ask me, I think I look a little bit more elegant going through. But after our short swim, we finally arrive at the head of the spring.
It's coming down out here.
We still gotta go to the bottom.
We're gonna go down over here. It's like 15 feet. Let's check it out.
With the weather starting to turn, we decide to take a few shots of the spring head before heading out and waiting out the rest of the storm. This is the head of Williford Spring. This giant 12-foot deep hole in the ground discharges over 16 million gallons of water per day. As you can see, the pressure pushes me right back up to the surface before getting anywhere near close to that. We have our fun swimming in the springhead. Due to the weather, we're the only ones in here right now, so we're enjoying the peace and quiet even while it's storming out. You can see the raindrops creating a wonderful cascade on the surface of the water. Absolutely mesmerizing. We try again to dive down deep into the springhead, but that torrent of water proves too powerful and pushes us right back out. The weather really started to turn for the worst. We even started hearing some distant thunder, but that didn't stop us from trying to get a few more interesting shots of me diving into the springhead. The weather got even worse. As we saw more strikes of lightning, we decided to wait out the rest of the storm under this awning. Alrighty, so we've got a break in the weather now. As you saw, it was just storming before. So we're here at the head of the spring, and we're going to go see what we can find. We're going to try to find some hardscape, like some limestone rocks and some driftwood, as well as see what other cool critters we can find, and we'll show you what we find along the way. Going in. And our search for hardscape continues. I'd like to take this moment to point out the temperature of the water. This spring pumps out water that is a constant 65 degrees, which is super refreshing. As I head back down to the bottom of the spring trying to get a good shot, you can see the sheer volume of water being pushed up from the bottom. Where the limestone bedrock meets the sandy surface of the spring, it almost looks like a foreign moon-like environment. You could also see the debris piles right next to the spring mouth, the only area of this place that has little enough flow for things to settle out. I continue my search for critters and hardscape at the marginal zones of the spring head, seeing where all these marginal plants come down into the water, and you can see a bunch of microorganisms and algae making their homes inside of the roots. Even the spring run isn't safe from the cyanobacteria. It's completely taken over. You can see a lot of small fish use this marginal zone as a refuge from the larger blue hole that is the spring head. As I head back down into the deep hole, you can get a better view of these debris piles piled up at the entrance. You can see me in the distance looking for any sort of aquatic creatures, to little to no avail. But Jack comes up to me with a surprise. More limestone, a wonderful addition to any aquarium. We're just taking the opportunity to collect some native materials to use in our own aquariums. After collecting all we can at the head of the spring, we decide to head back down the spring run and enter the main creek. I let Jack go first so he can get the cleanest shot, as now we're heading with the current, so all the muck we're kicking up is traveling right along with us. The rainstorm, even if it was brief, still mucked up the water and kicked up a lot of sediments, so it's a bit less clear than the journey upstream. The fish didn't seem to mind, though. They were still gathered in large numbers around the debris piles. We even saw our friendly neighborhood bass again, darting out of sight the second he locked eyes with us. Of course, we stopped by to admire the aquatic plants one more time. The fish even seemed more active this time around. You could see we're chasing this school of red ear sunfish, and they even come right up to the camera. It definitely took some energy to keep up with them, but you can see there's some absolutely beautiful individuals in this school. We let that guy run off as we continue to make our way towards the main creek. Right at the mouth of the spring run, there's one more mass of hornwort, so you know we had to get a shot of that. At the mouth of the creek, you can see that the water clarity starts to change, especially as we come towards where the warmer creek water meets that frigid cold spring water. One more cameo from Jack as we finally head into the mouth of the spring run. You can see the crystal clear blue water fade into the tannic brown tea-colored water of the creek. This is called the thermocline, where the cold water meets the warm water, as well as the clear water meets the murky water. It creates for a trippy visual, where you can literally see the two colors of water right next to each other. The fish seem to really enjoy this zone as well. You can see many smaller fish schooling right in the mouth here where the two waters meet. You'll even find some different species than that were in the spring run. As we go deeper into the creek and farther away from the crystal clear springs, the water turns brown and murky, becoming more and more eerie as you go deeper into the abyss. I soon have enough of this murkiness, so I decide to turn back to where it gets clearer. It's crazy to think that these two environments are literally interconnected and so close to each other, but yet how different the water quality and the fish are. Speaking of different fish, here are some creek fish. These little darters exist only in the fast-moving stream and not the gentle flow of the spring run. As you can see, the current was so fast, I had trouble keeping up with them, but these little fish had no problem fighting the current as much as they did. It just goes to show that these guys were perfectly designed for their environment. As I continue my search along the planted edges of the creek, trying to find any interesting fish, I find another fallen log creating a perfect habitat. I wonder what we could find under here. We see another school of sunfish, but wait, was that a largemouth? I believe so. Now I'm going up into the aquatic plants because there's a lot of fish just hiding in here, and I'm going to scare them out and see what we can find. Under this log, we can see another school of fish taking refuge from the high flow under this structure. On the other side of the log in the open channel, we can see some shiners dancing in the current as they search for food and school in the main water column. These guys are moving quite fast, but I believe they are the iron color shiners, a species unique to the panhandle of Florida. I follow them around until they duck down into the hornwort and evade me. In the shallow pockets on the creek's edges, I put the camera down and found a massive school of these little shiners going absolutely crazy, using all of the structure from the wood as well as the plants to eke out a little nursery in here. Absolutely mesmerizing. After swimming around in the creek for a little while longer, we decide it's time to head out. But there will always be another adventure to be had in the underwater worlds of Florida. So everything that we collected, the rocks and all the wood, we put in our wonderful native Florida aquarium that also has some of the iron color shiners, warmouth, and largemouth bass. A beautiful native Florida ecosystem captured in an aquarium. Alrighty, so we're back home. We've got our fish tank set up with all the natural materials from the springs, and that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you like it, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Rayquatics YouTube channel as well. Keep you guys updated on all the new videos we're going to be pumping out. And let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this video. It's a little bit different to what we normally do here, a little bit more of a nature style documentary. But if you guys like that, we could definitely do more of it. If you want us to go back to the old fish room stuff, leave it in the comments below. Of course, we're on vacation now. Once we're back in New York, we're going to be hitting the ground running with all the wonderful fish room tours and fish updates and stuff like that, trying to keep some nature content in there as well. That has been all for today. Rayquatics out. Peace.